Hello, I am Banzar from Banzar Gaming, and welcome to the Stanley Parable Part 1, which is already creeping me out a bit because of the menu. If you can see my, I don't think you can see my mouse because it won't be in the video, but yeah, when I move it around, my mouse is actually on all of those other screens. If you put it on the computer, it's even weirder because it's kind of... I know it doesn't work entirely because it's not... Anyway, you can't see that, so there's not much point in talking about it. We're going to begin the game. I played the demo. If you've not seen that, then you feel free to go and watch it, but it's not needed to watch this, I don't think. I am playing this.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard.
That's what I'm doing.
Him through a monitor on his desk.
I don't have that.
Buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly.
Where's the rest of the building?
And Stanley was happy.
I am happy. Okay.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change
The Stanley
Stanley.
Parable.
Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
What buttons am I going to
No
press?
one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation.
Interesting.
Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
I can... Okay, I'm just going to quickly pause it and put subtitles on because I just realised I haven't done that, so I will be back in a second. And they're on. Okay. So we are in the office. We can't pick up that cup like we could in the demo, but we could only do it at a certain point in the demo when it wanted us to. I don't think we can interact with much, so I guess we are just going to walk around.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Maybe
Stanley
he
decided to go to
smells.
the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Where is the meeting room? Let's go. That was 417. I thought that was 427. I was like, that's my number. That wasn't my room. Anyway. Oh, two doors.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Now, this is probably... I've seen this screenshot. This is probably the most famous part of the game, isn't it? Yeah, no. Sorry, narrator.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Maybe I do. Here it is.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
It was worth
Stanley
it.
simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Then he left.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Right. Okay, yep, we'll go with you on that one.
He detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Well, that's tempting, but no. Nope. I'm going to ignore it.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, thinking he might find an answer there.
Okay, I like all this. What do people want? Things, money, more things, things, but with money to buy, more things. Graphs, graphs about things and money. We have our new product! Graphs about things and money. Everyone is unique, you most of all. We need less reviews. 402 plus 405 want to get rid of the death sport portion in the primary review schedule, but I think that's a stupid idea. More water cooler heaters. Okay, well that's interesting. Ooh, I can open doors. I probably should have opened more doors
Stanley
before.
stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Or did he? Or did he find a secret door? No, he didn't.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Did he? Did he really? Hello, red light. Will you be my friend?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy...
Stop building it into
why
the
had he
story.
taken
I want
that
to
risk?
defy you.
All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy.
Well, maybe he is crazy.
And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any
I just said he
logical
might be
sense.
crazy. I think
And
he
as
probably
Stanley
is.
pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why
Is
did
Stanley going to
doors
realise
close
he's in a game? Is it like
automatically behind him
Deadpool
wherever
does?
he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeated?
Yeah, I noticed that.
No,
It was interesting.
Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled.
I'm
This is all a
dreaming!
dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an
Right.
explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
Do I just have
Thought
to
to
carry on
himself,
doing
I
this?
suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float
Whoa!
around.
That
Then
is...
He imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid?
I like the
And then
starfield.
perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Why
The
is
voice
that?
was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought
Can
it
I
all very
move on?
odd
Oh.
and wondered if this voice
Nope,
spoke to
nope,
all
same
people in
rooms
their
again.
dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself?
I should get in this
believing
car
that
and
if
drive
he's
away.
asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
Okay.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that?
Yeah,
this voice
voice.
was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control.
I'm gonna
that
prove
this
it.
was a dream.
Sounds like a plan.
So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself
Okay.
to wake
My
up.
eyes are closed.
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of
I
the
am
world
so
outside
comfortable
this
right
one.
now.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
Is that too much to
My
ask?
life is normal. I am normal.
I'm
Everything will be
normal.
fine.
Everything.
I am
Fine.
okay.
I'm okay. Oh, for goodness sake. Okay.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please,
Yes.
can someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice?
Is that meant to be my voice actually speaking, or is that the voice doing an impression of my
And
voice?
everything went black.
Oh, good. Good. It's good when everything goes black.
This is the story of a woman named
That's a
Mariella.
Hoosiers song, isn't it? What?
Mariella woke up on
That's
a day
everything
like any
goes
other.
dark, actually.
She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man.
Okay.
He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal.
Right.
I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
Yes.
It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay. The end is never the end, is loading. The end is... Oh! Am I Angela? No. Am I Stanley again? Is this room... This is Stanley's room.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, this time, let's do things differently and see if we can Groundhog Day this shit.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
he entered the door on his left. Yes, he did. And here's the meeting room, which we've already looked at.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Disappointing. Moving
on.
on.
Disbelief. Stanley decided to
go to the boss's office. I'm going to do everything the voice says.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yes, he did. Is this my... Okay. Is this my boss's office?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Ooh, have I got a...
Shocked, unraveled,
pointer
Stanley wondered in
bit,
disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number.
Oh, that's why I've got this.
845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
But what if he did?
By simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct
Yes, he
code
did.
by sheer luck.
I'm so lucky.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened
Where?
passageway.
Oh. Oh, this massive thing here. Okay. Interesting. There's a lift there. What's this way? Oh, nothing. Just darkness and death. Okay. Let's go the way that doesn't involve death. Although it might do. What if I click that and the floor just opens? And we're loading again.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar.
Stanley is a bit peculiar.
It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
I zoned out a bit there. What was the question? Did they say the
Stanley walked straight ahead through the
listening.
large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay, now this feels like Portal. No, we'll go in the mind control facility. Why not? Is this flipping? What's it called? Oh, that's really annoying. Now I feel terrible. I should kill myself. Charles Xavier's thing. You know, it's on a plinth like this in the films anyway. Locates mutants. That's going
The
to really
lights
annoy me.
rose on an enormous room packed with
I'm gonna think
television
of it.
screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Probably not. I'm probably going to die quite soon again. Hang on, we've had lights, cameras.
Their true nature
Is
revealed.
the next one action?
Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
My
Stanley's
goodness.
co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Freedom means nothing. Also, I still can't remember what the X-Men thing's called, and that's really annoying.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had
What is
Stanley
this?
really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been
Hey,
manipulated
if he's happy,
to accept
why does it
blindly?
matter?
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable.
Sorry to tell you this, Stanley,
Wasn't it?
but I'm kind
Was
of
it even possible?
in charge here.
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Where are we going?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very
What's
place.
this?
And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Okay.
For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Mind controls idle, awaiting input. System power off. Whoa! Oh, I guess now I can't control the game. Is that an ending? I don't.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Is it over? I assume.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone?
Yeah.
How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not
The
knowledge
trees,
or
the
even
things I was
power
told I'd
that
see in
he
the
had
demo.
been seeking,
The birds.
but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer
Oh, it goes
would anyone
down.
tell him where to go, what to do.
How far down does this go?
Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
Yes.
That was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing.
Yes, can I?
Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool
I'm not in
breeze
control
upon his
anymore.
skin, the feeling
Oh, because
of
Stanley's in
liberation,
control, not me.
the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Well, that's a nice ending, I guess, if it is an ending. I'm guessing it's now just going to go back to him at his desk, but... Oh, beat the game. I'm guessing there are many, like, as it says, the end is never the end. So that was the good ending. I guess we will play it again next episode. This was part 1. We had happiness and trees. And yeah, I guess that was it. This was episode 1 of the Stanley Parable. I will play it again and see what happens next time. So thanks for watching. Join me next time for another playthrough. Goodbye.